Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripatamaham Mande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we were hearing from the second canto, second chapter, the last two verses. They're the very beautiful summary verses, which we have heard part of it. So we will continue with the
Mataji, Shamkun Prabhu has shared on WhatsApp. Can you please just open that, Mataji?
WhatsApp, Prabhu.
Yeah, just open that. Download and open. That's it.
But today's, whatever file you had sent, Prabhu, it almost covers today's lecture. So I'll do that later. For tomorrow's only I'll require.
Sure.
Okay.
Tasmat Sarvatmana Rajan Hari Sarvatra Sarvada.
Is the audio clear to you all?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.
Shrotavya. Again, just the sound of the Sanskrit is so nice. Pibantiye Bhagavata Atmanaksatam Kritamritam Shravana Puteshu Samritam Punanti Te Vishaya Vidushtaya Vidushitasayam Prajanti Te Chanana Saroruhantikam.
Mataji, the font looks very
Those who
similar.
drink through oral reception. There's some poetry. Drink through oral reception. Fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of the devotees. Purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment, and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the personality of Godhead. So, this is medicine. It's medicine that you drink through your ears. See, some allopathic doctor will give you some medicine that you drink through your ears. Even an Ayurvedic medicine that you drink through your ears. The patient would probably think, this doctor's crazy, I'm getting out of here. And the diagnosis is, you have a very severe disease. Material enjoyment disease. I've got just the medicine for you. But you have to drink it daily through your ears. Whoa.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So it's sound vibration. And this regular hearing slackens and removes this polluted aim of...
Mataji, can you please increase the size? Bottom right, you can see 100%, right? This 100, you can make it plus, plus, plus.
And the audio here.
No, I'm saying in this text, right side bottom, you can just see.
Okay, the text. Okay.
Vidushita Ashayam. Vidushita. Bad. So my objective of life is getting dirty, is polluting my consciousness every day as much as possible. That's my aim of life. Now that may not be the explicit. If you were to ask somebody, my dear sir, could you tell me what your purpose of life? My purpose of life, very clear. I want to pollute my consciousness every day. That's my aim of life. But it ends up that that's what so that polluted aim of life is, Prabhupada says it twice in the purport, lording it over material resources. Taking the position of God, that is, imitating the position of the enjoyer of God's energy. To usurp the property of others and try to make the property of others your property by legal or illegal means. That's called being a thief, and it's punishable by law. But that's just a subset or a derivative of the polluted mentality of trying to be the enjoyer of God's energy unlawfully. So even lawfully. Prabhupada explains, this is a very nice principle, that when there's government regulation on something, the indication is it's actually best to do without it. His example is the tax that the government that puts on alcohol. If the government didn't provide alcohol, Prabhupada explained, there were times in history where prohibiting alcohol, in America there was prohibition. And what did people do? They made their own. And then Prabhupada has described, it's very easy to do, how to make rice wine. He described how you make rice wine. And so poor people, they'll make rice wine. So the government, knowing that people have that tendency anyway, they create licenses to produce alcohol, and then they tax it. And the message is, actually you should do without this. So, and it's the whole idea of the regulations of Scripture. The message is, sense gratification is something that you should do without. But since you can't do without it, it should be regulated by codes of religion. The codes of religion are not taken as a license for sense gratification. When man and woman become married, it's not the marriage license is not a license that now I can enjoy my senses within the arrangement of marriage lawfully, without restriction. Even within marriage, there's restriction. Outside of marriage, restriction. Within marriage, restriction. The message is best to do without it. But if you must, then with regulation. And that's called religious life. And the purpose of religious life is not just that you have a license, a liquor license, or a gun license, or a whatever it is license. It's to get to the position where you don't need the thing, and so you won't even need the license. The objective is to come to the stage of liberation. Those that don't know the purpose, they are called, Prabhupada refers to it in the purport, Veda Vada Rata. Where is that? Somewhere in this purport. Anyway, from the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, there are those that understand the purpose of religion What is the purpose of religion? To enjoy life piously and prosper in this life and go to a more prosperous situation after this life. That's the purpose of religion. Be nice. Enjoy nicely. And then you get a perk. You get a upgrade. You go to a better place where you can enjoy even better. That's the purpose of religion. And there's nothing more to religion than that. And making a short message of this one, most people believe in that. I've done some surveying. Most people believe in that, including well-educated people, or maybe even particularly well-educated people. They believe that. I could share some particulars, but the Bhagavatam is making it very clear that's not the purpose of religion. That's the polluted aim of life, lording it over material resources on this plane or the next plane. And is that not what economic development is all about? All the predictions for the next 10 years is that India and China are going to become mega powers economically. Enormous, they're predicting. Enormous economic improvement. What does that mean? The exploitation of the material resources is going to increase in a huge way. And what's going to be the result of that? Deterioration of moral values, deterioration of culture, deterioration of simple kindnesses between neighbor and neighbor, because we want to get that resource. And if they get it first, they win and I lose. And if I get it first, I win and they lose. So it's enmity between brothers and neighbors and groups of people. Prabhupada writes, the more human society engages in the exploitation of undeveloped material resources for sense gratification, the more it will be entrapped by the illusory material energy, and thus the distress of the world will be intensified instead of diminished. I'll just repeat this little statistic I sent out to some of you. There was a survey done about people in India, the degree to which they are meat eaters. And the survey spanned over a period of time. Like, asked people what's your habits now, and 20, 30 years ago, what were your habits? I forget the numbers, but something like 20 years ago, there were 15% of the population that were meat eaters, and now it's 50% of the population that's meat eaters. And why have there been changes like that? Economics, not religion. Religious value is going down anyway because passion is on the rise. Prosperity is on the rise. The value of being connected to God is waning because it's being eclipsed by passion, economic development. And they're predicting that as the economy, as the jobs from America, they call them offshore jobs, it's going to increase the income, and then with that increased income, so many other developments of technology and industry and the resources of nature will be exploited more and more. People will have more discretionary money, and just on this one item, it's an indication of all the other items, that meat eating is going to rapidly increase in the next 10 years. Which means the value of protecting the cow and so many other values are going to disappear. So you know what that means. It means many things. But those people that are holding on to considering themselves to be Hindus, they're going to question that. And there'll be other options for them besides being a religious Hindu. So we'll see a rapid increase of Islam and Christianity in India today in 10, 20 years. And those people that are Hindus because their grandmother did it, well, what does it mean? They don't know. And why are they vegetarian just because their grandmother did it? They really don't know. If they had money, they're curious, what does meat taste like? And they'll have persons convincing them that it's religiously okay to do so. So there goes, and so many other values of life. I'm saying these things bluntly so that you're aware of how important it is that the message of Krishna consciousness is clearly understood and clearly broadcast. We have a window of opportunity to educate a number of people so they don't fall prey to that misgiving. I'm saying it very calmly, but I feel it in a very disturbed way. And it's, as Prabhupada saw that, and said it over and over again, when people consider where is spirituality to be found in the world, they think of India. And it's not something new. Namely, lording it over material resources. So what's this Kali Yuga? We have to expect it's going to happen. And the sociologists and economists, they're predicting the path that it's going to follow. And what do? Just close our eyes and hope it doesn't happen while it happens? It's going to happen. Is there anything that we can do about it? Yes. What is that anything that we can do? The best thing that we can do is to propagate this message. Again, one who has heard will be inspired to vibrate. We call it preaching Krishna consciousness. But you vibrate the message in so many different methods. Prabhupada.
Here for today. So, anyone would like to give their views on what we heard just now? Yes, Sarvari Mataji. Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Very beautiful lecture. And that sentence, that material enjoyment disease, the cure is the medicine you drink through your ears. So that sentence I like very much. And also how this progress, development is linked to spiritual deterioration. So that was also very nicely explained by Maharaj. That's it, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. And Prabhupada wrote these purports 50 years ago. But he had that vision, long-term vision, what's going to happen. It's happening now in front of us, but he had written all these purports, and he knew that how it is going to deteriorate and how urgent is to spread this message of Krishna consciousness. So that is the compassion of the pure devotee warning us. Thank you, Mataji. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, nice lectures. So actually, Prabhupada and Maharaj have predicted a whole lot of next 10 years, 20 years what will happen. So that is already.
Prabhu, I can't hear you clearly, Prabhu.
Oh.
Can you come near the...
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji. Can you hear me now? Maybe.
Slightly better.
Okay. Yes, Mataji. Prabhupada and Maharaj already predicted before some years itself. Now we are looking at what is happening now due to economic development. Basically our regions, China and India. So how they are going to be affected. So that's what where we see due to economic development, the labor and all. So how we are doing, and maybe Maharaj also mentioned this is a nice opportunity to propagate this message, but I see this is very little because maybe lot of people are not ready to listen these topics. Okay, this is something, there are some restrictions. Oh no, we don't want to do these kind of things. So even when I try, like out of 10 people, maybe if I try, then 8 or 9 people are no, we don't want, no, something, this kind of answers I'm hearing. So this is my, like,
Yes, Prabhu.
thanks.
It
Yeah.
is very difficult, but then if you are getting a response from 1 in 10, you are very lucky. So people, that Prabhupada used to say that in 100 you may get one person who will really turn to Krishna consciousness, and it is very true. We also try to our bhakti rikshas and all, the numbers dwindle away. Because as you say, that everybody is fixed in their own opinion and their way of enjoyment, they don't want to change themselves. Yes. But keep trying. If you're getting 1 in 10, it's a very good number.
One more
Nice,
thing is like, yeah. So since
nice
if
percentage.
we are leaving, so whether we try with the same person, like either 8 persons, if we get a chance again, is it better to again explain, or only if they are willing? Otherwise, no. Otherwise, we should not do like that. Is Mataji?
Prabhu, to be aggressive is counterproductive. With my little experience, others can add to it. Uh, Sometimes you can go about it in a roundabout way, giving them prasad and praying for them, and giving them books, small books.
We
But
can't
if,
hear you properly.
but if they're responding to the small books and inviting them for a utsav and other things, happenings in the temple, if they are showing a tendency by coming to the temple, attending the programs, they may be attracted just by the prasadam in the beginning. It happens with every one of us, but that is also purifying. And if they come even for the prasad to the temple, that's a good sign. Then you can work on them from there.
Yeah, nice, Mataji. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to tell anything more to Ashok Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Mataji.
Um, I somehow always feel, though I do not have any direction, I do not have um, any vision in front of me, that the way we manage our household, our our learning, what we learn in the Krishna consciousness, and the way we have to manage our household, they both are literally in 180-degree direction. I mean, it has no connection at our workplace. And I feel that when we are so many in the numbers, so many devotees, we should definitely try to create the workplaces also which are aligned with our Krishna consciousness. I mean, so that our earnings, our work, our things are also streamlined, and whosoever is coming for the work also, not for the religion or not for the doing bhakti, but whosoever is coming over there will also get uh, some orientation, some alignment to the pious life, to the way one should lead life. But then that is only my daydreaming, Mataji. I really don't have any practical vision or practical implementation answer for it. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I beg to differ with you. You brought up this topic in a morning session, I remember, some time back.
Yes,
But
Mataji.
if we all contain ourselves within the, just even in the workplace, within devotee circle, then where to whom will we preach? If
No, Mataji.
everybody is
No,
like-minded,
my
it is
my
nice to
my
have a society
My
has
point is, no, my point is not that make a close group. Mataji, how all these software companies, they have created the employment opportunities, and people from far and wide are coming and joining. They don't even know. So if there are some opportunity, that is what I am saying. That not to make a close group, not to uh, create it for of the people who are already there, creating an opportunity of leading life in a pious way, giving some employment opportunity where we have told how it can be run. And then people, everyone has to come. There are people who are interested in doing things, leading their life in a proper way, but they are not getting those answers. I talk to so many people. What they answers what to do for living our life, we have to do this. We have to live in this way, then only we can actually carry or manage our family. So my intention is not to create a closed group but the open group, but how everyone else is inviting people from far and wide because of the employment, and then we have to change in their way. Even we are willingly unwillingly, we have to change in their way. So
good.
why not?
Good. When you are looking at like Prabhupada started all these forms, the eco village, Govardhan eco
Yes,
village. You
yes,
must have heard
Mataji.
about it. Like
Some
that, that
correct,
self-sufficient
correct, Mataji.
thing.
Something,
Like that, you are looking at a very nice idea. So you should become a business magnate to do it because you need the resources also. But yes, with like-minded people like you, it is possible to have a yes.
yeah, that's why I said, Mataji, it is
Yes,
just a
a
daydreaming right
business
now.
organization where chanting will be done every day, every day in the morning for 10 minutes before we start the job, and they'll run the business with all etiquettes and so ethics taken care of. Yes, I do agree with you. That will be utopian dream, but if we can, yes, in a
Yeah,
small
so
way, if
it's
we start, then maybe one day if people with resources think alike, then when they come together, it might be possible.
yeah,
You're
so
like,
that's why I said it's just a daydreaming for me till now.
yes,
Nothing practical.
you are thinking of a place wherein you can train more people to become Krishna conscious.
Right.
Awesome
And
dream in your life.
they are not
And
forced to think that they are only doing bhakti. They are doing their work, but unwillingly, they are getting a taste of bhakti also.
yeah, that's very nice thought, Mataji. Yes, you should do it one day. Uh, my blessings to you. Chandrakeshwar Prabhu,
Thank you, Mataji.
your thoughts, Prabhu.
Not on this Shweta Mataji's topic, Mataji. I have from the lectures 2 points I liked very much. The purpose of religion is to enjoy the life piously. That point I like very much. And this economic development perspective, uh, the socialist and economist they suggest oh, that in this Kali Yuga, how they wanted to utilize the material resources to they use more and more to increase the productivity and they exploit these material resources. That point I like. With respect to Sweta Mataji's dream, I have some thoughts on that. Like if we are in city, the opportunities maybe few people they think that they'll go to IT or some lecture field or some other industry, something like that. But if you see overall India, it is all dependent on agriculture is the base. 70, 60 to 70% people are dependent on agriculture only. So there, if you can start this Krishna consciousness, then that will help to propagate slowly, like in villages. That way, it is easy, Mataji. In city, if you want to make this in the IT professional or some other way, the people may be like-minded may not be available. That's what my opinion. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Very nice thought. Yes, already that was not the aim of life that Maharaj said. He said that polluted aim of life is to trying to enjoy the life piously. The Vedas, understanding the Vedavada Rathas also, misunderstanding the purpose of Vedas, they also propagate that yes, you enjoy your life piously and you try to upgrade it to by going to Swargaloka, you can enjoy some more. That is the upgradation that was mentioned. So, not the actual goal of life, but polluted. The Vidushita Ashayam came in that last sloka. So, that is the polluted aim of life, Prabhupada has translated into. And yes, Prabhu, you are right. Yes, whatever we start in the villages are more, the villages are still definitely less contaminated than the people living in the urban areas, and they may take to this sort of a self-sustained program like say the Govardhan Eco Village will also keeping in mind making them self-sufficient, and 70-80% of India being agro cultured. That will be good way to start it also as
Addition to that, one more point, Mataji. Recently, our group, Shambhala Mataji's Prabhu husband, he used to go Dodaballapur in near to Bangalore. So there we have a Goshala from our temple associated. So few devotees used to go and conduct nearby villages this Sunday or some other day on some festivals. So they do kirtan and give prasadam, something like that. That way it will be helping there. That is one point. So as Maharaj said, few things on the regulations with respect to alcohol and marriage license or those things. That point also I like very much, Mataji. Anyhow, the people are going to have the habit of that. If the government is not taking any action on the regulations, it will be by putting the license and all, it will be very problematic to the society. Something. That's it,
thank you very
Mataji.
much,
Thank you.
Prabhu. Let us ask the seniors also. Shyamkun Prabhu, have you got any thoughts about today's?
I just like hearing everybody. I like hearing from you, Shweta Mataji, Sharbari Mataji, Chinnakesh was happy, and Maharaj. I like what when Shweta Mataji was saying that the urge is coming in her. Let's do something. In other words, when Maharaj said, somebody who hears, he starts vibrating. So she has taken it to her heart. She has heard something and it's vibrating. And if some action is done on top of that, it'll be nice. It is a known fact that the life of a leader is the toughest life. Any leader, any person who wants to achieve something for the welfare or to fulfill the mission and the vision of the acharyas, their life is going to be tough. It's a life of sacrifice, definitely. But the fulfillment for such a person, or how they can stay in their own life, or how they can uh, live in spite of all the challenges, is the relationship that they have with other nice devotees, with the acharya, with the scriptures. So let Shweta Mataji, don't just have it as a wish. Fulfill it, please. Do something. Come up, take little steps is okay, but fulfill it if you like so, and come up with a vision of how it can be fulfilled. What are the elements of it to be fulfilled? And that, in one sense, ties with what Ashok Prabhu had said, that he speaks to somebody, but maybe they are not receptive, etc. A lot has to do with the way we approach uh, philosophy in general, or spiritual science in general, and our dealings with others in particular. If We approach philosophy or spiritualism as a set of rules, a set of do this and don't do that. That's one kind of a thing. It may attract somebody, it may not attract somebody. And more than attracting somebody, in our own lives, for us, if we just keep it as a bunch of rules, sometimes the rasa or the juice is missing. Uh, there is one level higher. Actually, there are two levels, but the first level higher is beyond rules, is that the why to do it, being extremely convinced this is why we should do it, and this is nice to do it, and let me try it. So approaching it as a discovery rather than a rules is one level better, that I'm discovering my own self, I'm discovering spiritual reality. And when we approach it that way and when we present it in the same way to others, it becomes appealing to them and it becomes sustainable for our own selves. Rules are not sustainable always. So discovery does help. And beyond discovery is the happiness of our acharyas, the happiness of Srimati Radharani, the happiness of the associates of Srimati Radharani. And that is blissful when we try to connect it that way. And this connects to one more thing, which when Maharaj was saying, he said, I'm telling it bluntly. If you don't do this, this is where the world is heading to. These second canto lectures of Maharaj are the ones from that era of 2002 to 6 or so, maybe sometimes 2010, where he was telling very explicitly what's there in his heart. And it's gone so deep in him that he, like many times devotees do say, hey, when I hear His Holiness Rumpad Maharaj, I hear a lot about how to dive deeper into the holy name, how to get attraction to Krishna, etc. But I don't think Maharaj has spoken anything about what to do about the propagation of Krishna consciousness. But here in this lecture and many others, it's his own style of saying, if you have heard it, you will vibrate it. And this vibration or kirtana is a very important component of Shravana, because when I'm not saying this is the only thing, but one small aspect is when we vibrate what we hear, we become responsible to follow what we hear. When we don't vibrate, it becomes a theoretical construct. And that vibration is required either in the form of speaking or in the form of actually establishing systems and organizations like what Shweta Mataji was saying. So all of this are practical applications of the Shravana. And here we see Maharaj explicitly saying so about it. So that's it, Mataji. I like these aspects here. And the fact that Maharaj very exposed us that most people just want to lead a good, happy life. And if you look carefully, why we want to just lead a happy life, it is like if you take a person and we push the person into water, and the moment we take the person out of water, there's such a big relief. Oh my God, now I can breathe. And for some people, that becomes the happiness. So we are so much in stress that we believe that some enjoyment is happiness for us. We need to experience something higher, actually. I too am at that very same stage, uh, not having experienced something higher. Uh, I wish and pray by your blessings someday it may happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for throwing light on many of the subjects. Nilima Mataji has written in the chat window, my understanding bhakti is choosing our free will willingly to please Guru and Krishna. Change of heart cannot be achieved through force. one can be inspired by devotees' behavior. Yes, very true, Mataji. Wholeheartedly, we agree with you. But sometimes, even if they are listening to Bhagavatam class, uh, they may get attracted. They don't even try. So if they try chanting, they may get attracted without even entering that arena, then they are totally ignorant of what it is. So if in a very, say, not like the communist forced uh, everything on the public and it failed, definitely we saw. Not like that, but then Shweta Mataji's idea is quite different. And I think that we all agree that it might work. One last thing I would like to say that I know of a person who working in a corporate setup who gave in his KRA that as a group leader he has to devise things for his team members to work better. So he said, I will start a spiritual yoga to so that they are well equipoised and they have got less enmity and it will foster more production in the long run. And he gave his points for that in a corporate way. And spiritual yoga was nothing except this introduction of Krishna consciousness to them through in the weekend some lectures. So they are not forced to come to that attend that. It is not that they will be marked and the KRA will be spoiled or something like that. They can choose to. On the morning, they had a class, a morning call of japa and things like that. But in the department, at least one person started chanting 16 rounds. So it can be done in the corporate setup also through leaders. I do agree with that point of view. How you go about it is very, very important, as Prabhu pointed out. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.